Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. Woo! Today, on episode 260, I am very lucky to have Jenna Zeng on the podcast today. She is an entrepreneur, former, used to work in the fitness industry, but no more. And yes, apart from kidnapping the occasional child from parks, yeah, she's genuinely a nice person. Hey, Jenna, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. I see. On the run, day 365. Yeah, still no. They haven't caught up with you yet.
Not yet, not yet.
All jokes aside, yes, you are one. Are you the co-founder or the founder of Staffnet?
I'm the co-founder. My other co-founder is Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock, but a different Dwayne Johnson. And unfortunately, he can't be here today. But yes, there's two of us.
So now, you used to work in the realm of fitness before. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So fitness to Staffnet. What made you go, hey, you know what? While you're doing those curls and doing those squats and stuff like this, yeah, getting you in the best shape of your life. You know what? This isn't for me. I need to go out there and touch my entrepreneurial soul a little bit more. What brought that on?
Yeah, it was kind of like a happy accident, honestly. And it's just funny where life takes you if you kind of let it, right? So I was working in the gym and I was doing sales there. So I was selling memberships. And basically, the way that we approached that, there were people who walked in who wanted to buy a membership, but we were responsible for doing canvassing on our own. And so I would walk up to you on the street. I would be like, hi, do you want to try my gym with a 3-day guest pass on me? And I'm going to show you around. I'm going to show you how to work out. And basically, I'm going to try and get you to join the gym. And so from there, we would do like a tour of the gym and all that stuff. And I'd show you all of the cool areas that you can work out, get you excited, and these are people I'm literally dragging off the street. Right. And so, but I'm not kidnapping them, but
do not bring up the kidnapping at all.
But
yeah.
So we do a tour of the gym and trying to sell them, just the lifestyle and want to be a part of this gym, this community. And it just so happened that the cleaners that we hired weren't doing a very good job. And so, this is my livelihood. I make commissions off of these memberships, and I obviously want to make good money. At the time, I was young and I was pretty decent at my job. And so I ended up starting to having clean the gym for the cleaners, and same thing with my coworkers. And so we wanted to make sure the gym was looking as great as it possibly could for these tours. From there, my assistant manager, who is Dwayne Johnson, we were good friends, and he approached me and two other people to start a cleaning business. And so that was back in 2018. And at the time, I didn't really have that entrepreneurial spark necessarily that I was aware of, but he is very good at persuasion and basically persuaded me to start this business with him and two others. The other two fell off, and it just ended up being him and I owning the cleaning business back in 2018. And from there, I was working my full-time job, and I was also running the cleaning business every other available hour, weekends and evenings. So in our minds, starting this business, we thought it's going to be easy. We clean the gym all the time. So we're going to get a really big contract like this gym. We're going to get employees. We're going to get product. And it's going to be gravy. It's going to be smooth, right? It's going to be super lucrative. Worst reason to go into business is for money. First of all, I'm just going to say that because, it just didn't work out for us at the beginning very well when we went in with that mindset.
Yeah.
So, starting a business is so much more than, hiring employees, getting products and getting contracts. It's, doing the little things in terms of marketing. And then there's back-end tasks to pay your staff, track inventory, follow up with clients, schedule your employees, all these things. And so as we were kind of getting deeper and deeper and the load was getting heavier, we just realized that we had no time to actually continue to grow our business because we were focusing on putting out all of these dumpster fires all over the place. It seemed like day in and day out, because we were having to do these small little tasks to basically continue operations. So like I said, scheduling employees, making sure clients are followed up with, all that stuff. So had many platforms, and basically it was just blowing my budget. It was crazy. I was spending over $500 on these different subscriptions to different platforms to run my business. And I was getting really frustrated because as a small business, I didn't have a lot of money to play with. And my priority was always to pay my staff first. And then whatever was left over, was going to pay for these subscriptions. And we weren't getting paid. It was sweat equity at that point. So we were in the trenches, really and truly. And there was a lot of growth from that. And I wouldn't take it back, but it was definitely really tough. So a huge pain point was obviously having to pay for these different platforms. We, in 2019, reached out to some developers and wanted to create our perfect app software to run our business so that I could automate my day. So I could make these little tasks go away day in and day out. And I just kind of set an occurrence and it just happens naturally on its own. So we met with them, created a wireframe, and basically put together my perfect software and app to be able to run my day. So this was just supposed to be for us at the time. And then I think sometime in 2020, I had some aha moment and realized, if I'm this small business struggling with this little issue with overhead costs, tracking my business, running my business and all that stuff, other people are struggling as well too. But is the market too saturated? So I wasn't sure. So then we ran a beta test. We had beta tests going on for around a year with different areas of business. So service sector, like a cleaning business, much like us, moving company, restaurants, personal trainers. And from there, realized that there was definitely a need for our service. And then we decided to actually bring it to market. And that's basically how Staffnet was conceived. So it definitely was not the plan from the get-go. It just kind of all unraveled as we kind of went down this path of business, essentially.
Like, the thing what makes me chuckle is that, look, don't get me wrong, like, people who tend to look at the world of business entrepreneurship to make a sackload of money, yeah, there are people which can be successful at it, but unfortunately, when you go in with the I just want to make money mindset, you kind of miss the key point, because it's like, okay, if you look at anyone who's been ultra successful, or just not even ultra successful, just successful, it's either goods or services. That's predominantly what it is. And if you don't have a goods or services you're providing, you therefore can't sell anything to anyone, or there will be no need for your presence for those people. Picking up that lesson must have been like, oh wait, it's like cart before the horse. What are we doing here?
Totally. Yeah, for sure. And I think it was a really great lesson for us early on, because then, we came to a few points in our business thinking, do we really want to continue this? Do I want to own a cleaning business? Cleaning is not my passion. I don't wake up every day and pine to clean a bathroom, but I think where it led us is to something beautiful, and it sparked my passion more so for continuing my entrepreneurial journey and basically learning or finding my thing in life, like what I want to continue to do, which is being in the tech world. And I would have never guessed in a million years that I would have gotten there. So it was a tough lesson to learn, but we failed forward. That's what I always like to say. We were failing forward.
Yeah, because that is one hell of a quantum leap to take. Because look, okay, membership sales is not a very easy thing to do, especially when it comes to a gym in the middle of summer, when no one has. It's like, it's the middle of summer, I don't care. Move on swiftly. To go to coming up with a wireframe for for your your company. So with that, what would you say have been the sort of main, like, what's been a major change from like membership sales for you to like basically, yeah, like soft, like SaaS development? Uh,
Yeah.
what has that been for you?
It's been a huge shift, right? Because I'm used to being one-on-one in person, selling a product to you or a service like a membership to be able to use the gym, right? So I can really show you everything and do very hands-on demos with you and guide you through it. And I can be there as a support as well too. You know, you use your 3-day pass and I can come in and I can do workouts with you. So it's very personalized. It's one-on-one. We are in person
Mm.
versus being in the online world. You know, one of the pros is you can reach anybody around the world, which is such a beautiful thing to be able to connect with people like yourself or whoever is a consumer for our product. But through that, you have to learn how to market yourself in a different way. And that's been such a huge growing experience, looking at the psychology behind it, teaching people the benefits and how when you're marketing your product, you're not marketing the features necessarily, you're marketing the problem that you're solving for the person, right? So you're hitting that emotional area with them, which is similar to selling membership sales because you want to hit that emotion and then basically people buy from emotion. But it's a different way of selling when you're going online. So you almost have to kind of step out of what you already know and relearn the process. So you know a lot, but it's like you have to unlearn quite a bit and then be able to understand different concepts and ideas of the online realm because it's constantly evolving as well too, which is crazy, exciting, frustrating, all the above.
I know, I can imagine. And I also like see it as you most like you have to learn a totally new language with everything you're doing, with
Yeah.
regards to burn and churn rates, which go on a day-to-day basis or a month-to-month basis.
Mhm.
Like basically like tranches, like getting to that new transfer funding if you're on that sort of page. Like yeah. So with that, like you mentioned, yeah, you had to sign on like $500 for a number of subscriptions here and there each and every single month. People are
Mhm.
like, oh, dang, like, oh, there's going to be people which go, that's a lot of money. But there's going to be also people like, for a SaaS company, no, that's not a lot of money at all. From yourself, from your perspective, it hurts, if you get what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
what would be like, is it just purely advertising you're putting this towards, or is it to other subscriptions like you never thought you would actually need, but do?
So for the $500 I was talking about for the cleaning business, that
Yeah.
was going towards subscriptions like CRM, um, inventory tracking, employee scheduling. So all of these things that we needed these platforms to be able to run our day effectively and professionally, right? Because we wanted to come across as somebody that's been around for a while to compete with these mega corps, right? Because we have quite a few big companies in the Ottawa area here that do cleaning. So we wanted to make sure we could compete with these guys. We want to be ultra professional. So we're investing on all of the best products on the market, but it just broke our bank. So that's why we were spending so much to be able to compete. And that's where, you know, Staffnet came from our hearts. It's a project of passion, essentially. And we came at it from the angle now because it wasn't meant to be on the market initially, that we want to be of service. So it's a completely different angle of business than we came in with the cleaning business. And it's worked out so much better for us overall financially, but also coming from an area of service, we've been able to impact so many more people as well too. So that's been just so mind-boggling and such a cool lesson to like really understand and learn. It's just been unreal.
Ah, so what does Staffnet predominantly do? Because like this
Yeah.
is we're talking about it, but I
Yeah.
think people are like going, what does he do?
What do
So
we do?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we automate your day essentially. So what happens with scheduling employees, at least for myself in the cleaning business, there were a lot of hiccups and mix-ups with clients. Our staff would show up late sometimes. They might not understand the scope of work or how to access the building. So there were a lot of things going on, right? So we wanted to get rid of these issues and automate the process. So if there's a reoccurring job, you set the occurrence once and it's automatically going to reoccur every second week, 3 weeks, monthly. You do it once. So you remove the human error out of it and you automate your day so that the schedule is going to come out no matter what. Your employees are going to be able to see exactly what they need to be doing on X, Y, and Z. So that's a pain point that's gone, right? And then through that, when you're alleviating these issues, these conflicts on the job site, your clients are happier, right? So then through that, you're going to be able to retain clients longer, have better reviews, all that stuff. Through that, we also cut out the middleman with confirmations. So, you don't have to be sending out emails every day because that's what I was doing manually. I was following up with clients for like job reports and saying, hey, just confirming we'll be on site today. All of these little things, even though it's a 2-minute email, they add up to be a lot of time. So through that, creating the automations, we've been able to save people 5+ hours a week, right? So if you look at the course of a month, that's 20 hours a month that you're saving to be able to focus wherever you want in your business. So this could be scaling and growing on a different, bigger project that you've kind of been putting off because you don't have enough time. Or maybe you just want to hang out with your family more. You want to be able to enjoy the entrepreneurial lifestyle and be at home with your kids and do whatever. So it's been able to alleviate those main pain issues by automation. In terms of automation, we do with a CRM reminders to follow up with your clients as well too, because with sales, it might not be somebody's buying window, but we're going to remind you when it is so that you're never going to let anybody fall through the cracks again. You can keep tabs and notes as well too. So it's literally an all-in-one platform where you can track everything for your business and be able to have it under one hub and not pay several subscriptions, but also not have to go to several websites to be able to run your business as well.
Do you do sort of costings as well with that? Say if it was, okay, with regards to your cleaning business, say if you go, okay, a cleaner, like which is being billed to a company would cost, say, $80 like for a shift. And like, so the person who's like using Staffnet would be able to see like all of the costs in one place and like, oh, okay, like this is how much we're going to be expensing that month for using this service and everything like that.
No, that's a great question. We don't have that yet. So with our software, we're going to be doing a QuickBooks plugin. So be able to access your QuickBooks via the portal, and that would be able to tell you everything. Because with the accounting software, it's so complex that we weren't going to add that into our back end.
Yeah.
We already have QuickBooks who does it really, really well, right? I've used QuickBooks for years. So we're just going to do the plugin to be able to kind of sync that up.
Okay. So it's like basically magic box, and then you can bolt things onto the site.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, no, because this is the thing. I think what people don't sometimes realize, if you can like master your organization, but more importantly, master your time when it comes to the realm of whatever business, startup, or life in itself, you will be amazed at how far you go. You go 20 hours, saving 20 hours. Now, okay, 20 hours might not seem a lot, but accumulatively over a number of time, like, yeah, that's a lot of time you can help save and potentially a lot of money as well, you know?
Oh, absolutely, right? Time is the most valuable currency. And I don't think it's viewed that way all the time. And I think it's very important as an entrepreneur to see that time is money. And so wherever you can make an efficiency and save that time so you can focus it to drive your business the way that it needs to go to grow, we're just the vessel that does that.
Yeah, like, so with this and like basically what sort, like looking at yourself when you went from sort of sales to basically to the cleaning to now Staffnet, what is there like sort of one sort of element which you've constantly went, this is my bedrock for all three of like all three different stages? of your career life, or has it been a case of you've grown and developed in a particular way you didn't expect to?
Yeah, so I've definitely grown and developed in a way that I never expected to, honestly. It's crazy because I look back and I call myself like baby Jenna, if you will, because it's crazy like how you evolve, like in terms of just believing in yourself and just being able to take a concept, an idea, and like run with it, but have the confidence to do so as well. And I think there's so much growth in being an entrepreneur, and it's not for everybody. And a lot of people really want to report to a 9 to 5 and leave work and live their life. And there's some days where I'm like, that would be really nice, but right, because like sometimes it's just nice to disconnect. But I always come back to this is what I love to do. And so, yeah, it's crazy the journey and how you can evolve and grow as a human being too,
Mm,
because it's not just growing as an entrepreneur and becoming more savvy at business, it's becoming a better human being through the process. And that's something I never would have ever expected.
yeah, no, I can imagine, because like this is the thing, like when you like, okay, be an entrepreneur, like control your time, control your life. And yeah, everyone talks about the upside, but like no one actually goes like, yeah, if you are an entrepreneur, you might be doing a 12-hour day, you might be doing a 14-hour day. Like, yeah, everything stops at your door. And as much as you would love to pass it off to someone, you can't. Like, how have you been? Like, you've got your business partner, Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock, people, not The Rock, working with you. Uh, but like, yeah, how have you managed to sort of deal with that sort of pressure on a sort of day-to-day basis?
Lots of wine. I'm just kidding.
Okay. She gets
No.
drunk, people, all the time. It's
So I make those calls. No, I think it's been a process for sure. And I wasn't always really dealing with it in a healthy manner, in the sense that, I was never able to really turn off. I was constantly thinking about work and never taking time for myself. So through lots of, I guess, self-reflection, I've learned, to put a time aside for myself to like work out, go for a walk in nature. All that kind of stuff has definitely helped me evolve to be able to deal with these things. But I think overall developing my leadership bone really, really helped. So to be able to teach my team how to be competent at their jobs, take pride in their work, has definitely really helped alleviate a lot of issues. Because like you said, at the end of the day, if the client's not happy, they're at your doorstep knocking and they're asking what the issue is and how you're going to fix it, right? So, and being in the service sector, you always want to make them happy as much as possible. So being able to learn to handle yourself with grace, but also give yourself leeway too, right? It's okay to make mistakes. And it took me a very long time to not be so hard on myself, to be like, oh, that was so stupid. How could I have let that happen? And just fail forward and learn from what's going on, because it's almost like when you try to stop controlling everything, it
yes.
gets so much easier.
Ah, yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine, because like this is the thing, and I don't like, I know this sometimes is like sort of levied at lady entrepreneurs a little bit more so than guys, like sort of
Yeah.
like retaining one's identity with everything which is going on. Like, hey, like it's like, oh yes, yes, you're a businesswoman, yes, you're a, like wife, yes, you're a mother. It's like all of these
Yeah.
things, which I would say it's ever so true. Same thing with the guys. It's just one of those things where no one kind of talks about it when it's guys. It's like going, yeah, they're a business. That's their business, and they get on with it. Like
Yeah.
keeping that, like keeping your identity, knowing who you are, like in the moment. Like what, like is there sort of techniques or tips you've like learned because you've went, yeah, I've had to like work on my leadership bone and everything like that to
Yeah.
like keep you like, well, I don't know, to keep you centered or like keep you like going on course for your North Star. What would you say?
Yeah. So staying true to yourself is obviously going to guide you to where you want to be in life, right? And so it was really hard entering this realm of entrepreneurship, business owner as a female, because I am this short 5 foot lady, right? And then my business partner is 6'2" giant man. So when we're standing side by side, our staff look at him and they don't look at me. And so I would speak, and that because I was speaking about something in a meeting or how something runs, and they're just looking to him for guidance constantly. And the way that they would speak to him would be much different than they would speak to me, right? And there was a level of respect that wasn't reciprocated at times. So I almost had to step in I felt like I needed to step into a different personality at first, because I needed to be this boss lady and like be business. But that ended up just backfiring because I just was cold to these employees, right? And they just didn't really warm to me at all, or felt like I didn't like them, because I felt like I needed to be a certain way to carry myself at the same level that Dwayne was carrying himself, because he just had this influence over people naturally. So I felt like I almost had to prove myself all the time in these meetings, even with clients too. Little things like somebody would go always shake his hand first. And I would notice these little things, right? But over time, I was becoming a little bit less butthurt about it and realizing this is just people's natural psychology. It just happens. Like they're not doing it on purpose, right? And then once I kind of felt more confident in my skin and being kind of coming into my own, I felt like that little voice inside of my head that was, nagging, saying somebody's shaking his hand first, or they're not showing the same amount of respect, just really quieted. And I just became more confident in who I was. And when you exude that, people naturally kind of gravitate towards that. So when I started being more like myself, like when I was around Dwayne alone or at home with my friends, it just kind of, like I said, when you're trying to not control as much and you kind of relinquish a little bit of control, everything just kind of comes and flows naturally. And so that was, again, another lesson. So I love that question that you just asked, because I feel like we hear a lot of things as being a female entrepreneur, that you have to be a certain way or act a certain way to demand respect. And it's not necessarily true. Being this different persona isn't really required. If you just act and are like yourself and you're being a kind human being and you're coming from a place of good, it will shine through.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And like, this is the thing, to I think falling into, I think the trope, I think many people often fall into when, okay, looking at the picture with you, like, it's looking like it's old detective movie. Basically, you're standing back to back in the picture, which way I was like, okay, is that going? Come in this fall. It's like, but I think I think many people fall into that sort of trope. If they've got not so much a larger than life partner, but they have this sort of gravitas around them, stepping up, like. And when they do step up, it's either they go more extreme than what their personality truly is, and they kind of lose themselves in it. And like it starts, I would say, and no judgment on yourself, but it comes from a place of insecurity at first until you actually start to find yourself once again. And then you can be truly sort of like the word is, it's used a lot on this podcast, but authentic self. And that's the sort of challenge I think people who are in that sort of realm of entrepreneurship. And I would say, sometimes with the ladies, sometimes with the guys, need to truly find themselves. And I think that's when people do truly warm to them. That's when they truly find their voice. And it's like, yes, rather than the handshake going to like, yes, you're rather tall, compadre. Like they'll just like, you know what I mean, naturally come over rather than sort of like, oh, there's something cold about her. Let me just take that step back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and you definitely hit a chord there, because I think, when we're going into business, you read these articles or you listen to videos and you just mimic other businesses because you think this is what the market is doing. This is what I'm supposed to do as a business owner. I'm supposed to be very professional. I'm supposed to, only just hold yourself a certain way, right? Versus being authentic to yourself in the way that you speak, right? Even the way that you kind of come across through your content and whatnot. And again, that was another lesson that we had to learn the hard way through marketing our business. At first, we were doing all this hoity-toity language, and I hated writing copy for it because I was just like, this is not me.
Yeah.
And again, just like aha moment, I was like, I'm just going to write the way that I would write if I was speaking to a friend and I'm trying to help a friend and give them my product and like just allow them to see how I can benefit them. And it works so much better. And so every time that I've kind of taken a step back, reflected, looked at what I was doing because I was supposed to be doing it, and then went the other direction, I felt so much better for it and worked out so much better in the long run.
Outstanding, outstanding. So if someone like asked and went, hey, I'm looking to start my own business, what would be the sort of like first sort of tenet you would say to like to go, yeah, you should do this first, or like, and this last? What do you think that, what would you say that would be?
I would say if you're thinking an idea, just do it. Just freaking do it. Just get started. So if that's getting your business license, if that's getting incorporated, just do these little scary steps to get the process and the momentum rolling. Because once you start going through these motions, it becomes so much easier. And it might be a total flop, but it might also be a total success. That's really up to your grit and your ability to continue to work at your idea. The last thing I would say is ask for others' opinions that are close to you, because those are the absolute worst sometimes. And they can really cause doubt, but also persuade you not to do the thing that you want to do, because your gut will never fail you. It's going to lead you to where you should be, or where, you know, at the end of the day, you want to go naturally. If, you know, you have an entrepreneurial spirit, wherever it may be taking you. So I would say avoid talking to close friends and family about it, and basically reach out to your community online if you want to. You know, you can do a beta test, and that's through like strangers essentially. But what I found a lot is just go with your gut, do the thing that you want to do. And even if you fail forward. There's so many people start businesses and it's by their fifth business that they're successful. So I just say, do the damn thing, go through the motions.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have to say, I do agree with you. Like, yeah, doing the small steps, because what generally I've seen happen to a lot of people, they go, you know what? I've got this business idea. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wait until I have the perfect design. I'm going to wait until the market conditions are absolutely perfect. I'm going to wait. And they list off about 5 or 10 different perfect things that need to happen to like for them to spring into life and go, here's my business. Come on, world. Let's go. And like the whole point is like perfection in my book is that it's the main ally to procrastination. It's like, because every time you wait for that perfect moment to come along, you like go, right, I'm waiting for this. It's like, no, that's not going to be it. You're waiting, I'm waiting for that. That's not coming in together. And when you've played this, it's like, okay. And if by some chance the stars align and everything was like, yeah, did happen to that on that perfect moment, which you never will. It's like,
Yeah.
you're like, they're not ready because they haven't done the like 1,001 different mistakes you need to do to like basically learn and grow. It's like, so they're not actually ready for the moment anyway, you know?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I think they're just really and truly subconsciously looking for excuses, right? But they don't realize that they're not intentional through their actions.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And like this is the thing when you went, yes, don't go to friends or family.
Oh,
It's like, no, don't do it. I always think that comes from the perception of how your friends and family see you. They always like when they see
yeah.
you this way, and the whole thing is, seeing you another way, depending on who they are, it might shine a light on their life, which they might not be happy with. Or it might be a case of like, oh, no, I really like you the way you are. And if you change, I don't know if I'm going to like that person. And it's like, so yeah, you stay that person. Shh, shh, don't worry about your business idea. Stay that person so we can still be friends, or else. It's never said like that, but the or else is always implied, you know?
Yeah, totally. And I think sometimes the doubts come from a place of love, and I'm sure the majority do. But like you said, I think a lot of people, we all have a lens the way that we see life, right? It's
Yeah.
all very unique to us. And somebody's something that happened previously past experience, maybe they had somebody who went into business and it failed, and all of these doubts they're trying to overload onto you, and it just doesn't help at all. So as much as they're trying to help, they're really not, really and truly. So that's why the closest people to us, when we were going through the beta test of Staffnet and stuff like that, we didn't tell anybody that we knew, really and truly. Like our significant others and stuff like that obviously knew, but yeah, like my family had no idea, like zero idea, until we launched. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I like launched a software. And they were so taken back. They were like, what the heck? So, and they're like, why didn't you tell us? And I was like, oh, I didn't think that you would support it.
Oh.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, yeah, this is kind of weird though. Yeah. But it was true. And like, honestly, I was right. And so now they're of course supportive, but it's different after everything's been done.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, everyone wants to have a slice of the cake when it's been baked and put like the icing on it. But hey, no one wants to help make that cake. Yeah,
No, nobody wants to be in the kitchen with you.
it's like, oh, it's hot in that kitchen. No, not today. But bring me that slice when it's done. I was like,
Yeah,
I, talking
that's a
about.
great analogy. Yeah.
But it's so true. Like, look,
No, it's
it's
true.
and like this is the thing. Like, you go, really? Yeah. Look at how I look at, especially with in say the realm of YouTube, right? YouTuber. Okay, being a YouTuber was a thing. It's a thing for the last like from 2008 up to present day. That's when like YouTube is like before that, before if you went to someone in 2007 and went, yeah, you can be a YouTuber and make money from it. They'll say, what? It's like,
Yeah.
are you crazy? Are you
Yeah.
insane? You're going to put these little videos up there and everything like this. And it always makes me laugh when you see the parents like talking about their like how proud they are of their child like becoming this YouTuber. So proud, so proud. And
Yeah.
like you like kids look at them like going, you remember when you like going, you almost disowned me. It's only when you saw this check coming and that check coming.
That's right.
It's,
Yeah.
it always makes me laugh. So yeah, it's like
Yeah.
no help making the cake, but yeah, when it's prepared, it's like it's all gravy. Yes, I'll take a slice. Thank you.
100%. 100%.
Like with like StaffNet, like where would you like to see this go in the next few years?
Yeah, that's a cool question. We get that asked quite a bit.
I don't know.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I would say we never really want to cater to the megacorps because we came from being a small business. We are still technically a small business with our cleaning company. You know, we're pretty successful, but I would still consider us to be like the little guy. And so I want to continue to cater and serve the little guy, but on a higher level, more accounts and stuff like that. We have our freemium account. So I'm really excited to see that grow. So basically what it is, it's 1 to 4 users and they get access to all of the features for free for a lifetime, as long as they're only 4 users. But the idea is to be able to help and support these businesses grow and thrive, and hopefully they continue on with us. And then, you know, they would have to pay at that point beyond 5. But yeah, so I would love to see, you know, obviously conversions from that. And I would like to see more people joining on both kinds of accounts, because at the end of the day, I want to help as many people as possible. I spoke about happy accidents earlier in the podcast in terms of, just the way life happens. Recently, in my newsletters, so I do weekly newsletters, and it'll link to our blog or something that I'm thinking about in business, tips and tricks, or a resource that I create. And what I did was I put a little button, because I saw this in one of the newsletters that I'm subscribed to with a different platform, said, if you like this email or have a question, reply here. I thought, that's brilliant. Connection. I want to be able to just open that door and say, hey, walk on in, like, let's have a chat. So I put that in the email, and a few people replied to the first one. I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. We might be onto something here. So I just started these conversations, and some of these subscribers are just our clients, but some are people just subscribing to the blog. So they're not even clients of ours that are paying customers. So we have a good email base, and just started having these very cool business conversations and started doing this free consulting. It's totally free. I'm just having like a 15-minute conversation with these people, but it's really cool because I'm learning so much from them. I'm sharing my knowledge, and we're just kind of having a very cool conversation and being able to brainstorm ideas with them and give them some direction in something that, they feel like they've been alone in for so long. Because I think it is our duty to share knowledge at the end of the day. Whatever you're doing in life, your job is to share knowledge, tell stories, and help one another. And so that's kind of where Staffnet is right now. We're in a place of service. And so I would love just to continue to see that grow just on a bigger scale. And so as of right now, it's selling our product, giving our product away for free on the freemium, and then doing this side consulting and just having these cool little coffee breaks with these awesome human beings around the world.
Outstanding. Because like, this is the thing, like, okay, there will be some people that going, okay, yeah, like, okay, newsletter, like, okay, doing this like free consulting, like, where, like, how come she's not making any money off of that? How come she's not making any money off that? But like, I think that if they just focus on that stamp, like that point, I think they're missing the overall point.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, listening to you, I think it stems from the realm of like building a true community within like the sort of Staffnet network. Please correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah, absolutely. We want to create community. We talked about the closest people to us not being supportive earlier. We are in such a cool era where we can connect with anybody across the world. And now more than ever, we don't have to feel alone in business. And so I think it's really cool to be able to go online and find your people. And so we want to create a community and be these people of support for anybody feeling like they're alone, because I can tell you, you're not alone. We've all been through it in one way or another. And everybody has a solution or a perspective to provide. And so we just want to be that hub and that support and continue to do that. And it really fills my cup. And so that's why we continue to not charge for it. Mm-hmm. And I don't really want to ever charge for it because, like I said, it fills my cup. So as much as I'm doing a service for somebody else, it's doing a service for me as well, too.
Yeah. So apart from the newsletter, how are you getting the word out? Because that's one of the greatest challenges for any business, be it like, what you're doing to like, some multinational. How are you getting the word out there?
Yeah. So when we launched, we did some hype beforehand, and we were just this small little business coming out of a beta. We didn't really have any brand recognition whatsoever. And based on our name, people think that we're a staffing agency. So right. So you're like, okay, crap, like we need to kind of get out of this hole a little bit. And so one of my husband's clients owns a business here in Ottawa, and he had done radio ads. And so just through talking with his client, he'll come home and tell me stories and stuff. He said, so-and-so is running this radio ad, and he's gained 3 times the amount that he invested in the radio ad. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is such a cool idea. I'm going to do that. Not a good idea though, because we had no brand recognition, right? So we're hopping on, we're getting these radio ads. It's super exciting to hear our name on the radio locally. And, I'm doing a little happy dance when I hear it every single time, sponsored by Staffnet. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then we had these sponsored posts as well through that radio. And we were doing some paid ads at the time. So all of this money is going into advertising. I'm thinking, again, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to be paying a lot for marketing, a higher marketing budget to get things rolling. We go through close to $20,000 in marketing. And
yeah, okay.
And we're a startup, by the way, bootstrap, no investors or anything like that. And basically didn't see much of a return because we had no brand recognition. And a great lesson, first of all. So again, in the nature of failing forward, we had basically no more money for advertising, nothing that I could justifiably spend. And so I thought, okay, what am I going to do? So I started doing organic marketing. I'm going to be the marketer. I'm going to put on my marketing hat and I'm going to go out there and just basically scream from every building top that Staffnet is here and then we're here to help kind of thing. And so how do we actually do that, right? So through that, we do blogging. And so on our blog, we'll search for keywords that are relevant, ones that you don't really have to try too hard for, but are within our niche as well. So we're going to hopefully pop up on the first page of Google, build that know, like, trust with Google as well. So we kind of fall into that algorithm and posting on different platforms as well. So cross posting, and we'll always link back to our blog as much as possible. So through that, SEO, we then teamed up with an SEO company here. So we did invest a little bit of money to do some paid ads with Google, because then they're going to search for positive keywords and negative keywords. And this is what they do day in and day out. So it's definitely worth the investment if you're able to, because it's really, really cool to be able to track those metrics. And then going back to the organic marketing, we do guesting on podcasts like we're here, and being able to show up on somebody else's platform and speak to their audience, but then our audience also hears the podcast as well too. So it goes both ways. Then we do guest posting on different publications as well. So, you can reach out to whatever you read. I love Business Insider, so you can pitch your ideas there. If you really want to go shoot for the stars, you can pitch it to Forbes. Literally anybody you can find their email, like for an editor, you can pitch to them online nowadays. It's bananas. It's super cool. So that's another way. We do a lot of collaborations and endorsements. So building connections with people on different platforms, like we use Alignable and LinkedIn to be able to connect with other CEOs, business owners, and build those connections and leverage their audience again when they endorse our product. They do a post about it. We maybe give them like a couple months for free or something like that, or just a free account in general, and costs us nothing really and truly. And they're just putting out the word for us. And those would be like the main ways that we generally do that. And content on social media as well is another free way to go about it. You don't have to pay for paid ads if you don't want to. If you're creating really good, engaging content, hashtagging and stuff like that on Instagram and whatnot properly, it can definitely go a long way. So that's how we've built our platform of online marketing. And we've made probably 5 times as much as we made with the paid marketing with our organic marketing.
You must be like, wow, it's a 20 grand lesson learned, but yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's an expensive lesson.
Yeah, but okay, doing all of that, because being on a radio ad in the Ottawa area is being on a radio ad in the Ottawa area, which is great. But it seems like with all the work you're doing, having backlinks, doing this like SEO, like getting onto other people's blogs, you're casting a much bigger net, even like into areas where you're like, these people most already have no need for it, but still we're there. If they are ever in the Ottawa area, here we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we reach so many more people being online with this organic marketing, and it's just like blown me away that how it continues to grow and evolve and making these connections online.
Yeah, like one of the things which I do find interesting, you didn't like sort of like go, yes, you mentioned Instagram, but you didn't like go, yes, we purely do social media. And like, you know what I mean? Because like there are people which are like, oh, yes, they they they'll they'll pray to the social media gods and they go, yes, it's all about social media. That's the only way you get growth. That's the only way you make things happen. But you've mentioned blogs, you mentioned everything like this. Like to me, when I look at social media, I believe it's important, but it's also rented land you're doing all of this on. And in a blink of an eye, you don't need to say anything controversial. It's just like an admin mistake and they take away your account and that's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it a case of that's the reason why you don't want to just be beholden to like social media, or it's just you just see value in being everywhere?
Definitely more value in being everywhere. With the SEO, it works really, really well if you do it properly. It is quite time consuming to be able to search for the keywords and find out, who's ranking for them and all that stuff. So if you're not into doing that kind of research, it's definitely not going to be for you. But when you do get down to that rabbit hole and you niche down and find these keywords and you end up on the first page of Google, the floodgates open. People are coming to you as a known resource and saying these people know what they're talking about, right? Another thing of organic marketing that I forgot to mention is the subscriptions from our website, right? So being able to have people have a really good opt-in on your website and having people give over their email address, it's such a huge thing to ask for. And I think we don't value it enough when somebody gives you their email because they're saying, hey, I'm allowing you to contact me. And so from there, that is massive. Every time we get a subscriber, I still get the emails directly to my email nowadays. I like to see it. I like to see all of these new subscribers coming because it does fills my cup. And I get excited because I'm like, oh, these people they want to hear from us. They want to engage with us. And so that level of organic marketing, newsletters and stuff like that goes so far. And I don't think there's enough spotlight on that nowadays.
Yeah, because like this is the thing. Like, okay, also with regards to every focus being on social media,
Yeah.
I think many people forget the power of just having an email list to sort of leverage that group of people to take like, okay, if you do this, like, here we go, here's the newsletter. And I don't know what the sort of open rate for you, you don't need to tell me or anything like this, but the likelihood of them acting and doing something which you present to them must be considerably higher than any sort of Facebook ad you might run on Facebook.
Yeah, especially so you do a call to action in a
Yeah.
social media post, right? And you have your followers, but then in similar thing, like perspective with email marketing, you do a call to action, but there's literally like a button there. You can give them a link right there. And it's just so easy for them to go back to social media. It's scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Email, it's like right there in your email, bam. I make a really good subject line. You want to open me, and I have your attention for hopefully 10 to 20 seconds, and I want to make you click on that link and go do whatever the call to action is, essentially, right? So I feel like the engagement is a lot better with email marketing if you do it properly versus social media. It's just so saturated. There's so much going on. And you do have your followers, but those can fall off really easily versus emails. People might ignore your emails because they say, I don't really want anything from Staffnet right now. And they could have unsubscribed, but they're more likely to delete than unsubscribe for a while, right? And if you're providing quality content, people will not want to unsubscribe. So I think we need to value these subscribers a lot more and provide value. And even though their buying window might not be right now, it's not never. So you're just kind of warming that lead until, oh, Staffnet's there. You're popping up constantly versus having to put all of this attention onto social media and compete with the algorithm and ever changing things going on over there.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Now, with like your strategy of getting the word out, Was this instantaneous, or did it take a little bit of time to get?
Totally took time. Yeah. So we stopped the radio ads end of January, and that's when I started doing the organic marketing. And we only really saw a solid flip, I'd say, at the end of May.
Ah,
So you're doing work and you're constantly thinking, am I crazy? Is this going to work? Like, am I doing all of this work for no reason? And again, it goes back to trusting your gut and not following what the market says to do and saying, I'm putting in the reps, I'm doing the work right now. And hopefully it comes to fruition in the near future. And there's a good quote by Oprah. It says, there's no secret to success. It's just hard work. And that's what I always remind myself. If I keep on showing up, I keep on providing value, I'm being of service, it's going to pay off. So it did.
Oh, I hear you. Because this is the thing. Showing up, doing the reps, the hard work, the grind, as they will. Like, many people always kind of look for, what's the magic trick? What's that magic bullet? What's gonna, I need it now. I need that instant hit. And like, when you kind of like go, okay, why do you need it instantly right away? Like, I've got bills to pay and everything like this. Okay, didn't you have some type of contingency for X amount of time? No, I didn't. It's like, okay, maybe you should go back to maybe having a job for a little bit. So, I mean, keep that wolf from the door. But nothing great, nothing mighty comes from instant work. It doesn't exist. If you want to kind of like look at anything which has been around for like time immemorial, or like, it doesn't exist in like a click of the fingers. And I think that's what many of us forget as a society. Like, it doesn't happen in an instant. It takes time, it takes hard work. And if you're kind of looking at it from the standpoint of what your build, like your business, your crew, like everything like that is going to be a cathedral, you might start it, but you might not actually see the actual finished product. For example, like you take a look at the person who started Coca-Cola. They sold something like 14 bottles in their first year. 14 bottles in their first year. And you go, right, if you told them what Coca-Cola would be in 2022, even that it'd be around in 2022, you're like, oh, right. They're like, going, what? It's like, yeah. It's like,
wow. Yeah. It's unreal. It's unreal. And like you said, I think we're in such a culture of instant gratification, especially with social media nowadays, because you're just talking about that. You want the likes, you want the instant I guess, glory in what you're doing, because it all is like the highlight reel. And so I think sometimes we focus on that too much, where we need it now, and we're unwilling to wait for delayed gratification. And that's one of the things that I've been working on the last little bit, is delaying my gratification for certain things, because if it's having like my sweets, or being able to do certain things, because I think when you strengthen that muscle, you become a lot more savvy in business, and you're in it for the long game, essentially. And that's what you need to be doing in business to begin with. You need to be in it for the long game, because if you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, get out. Like, there's no room for you in business.
Yeah. One of the things which has just come to mind, which I think maybe give you and your business partner an advantage over other people with regards to knowing it doesn't come instantly, and it takes time and it takes a lot of work. It's the fact that you are in fitness, that to get those results, to get those gains, gains with a Z, not an S, with a Z. You get someone coming in and go, yeah, I want to change my life. Like, I'm 100 pounds overweight, bam. It's like, right, it's not going to happen in 2 days. It's not going to happen in a week. There ain't going to be this also like viral moment where you got this tremendous amount of success, because yeah, in a week's time they might be 98 pounds overweight. In like 3 weeks time, yeah, still like maybe they've fallen back and they're at 110. But you know, if they do the work, they put in the effort bit by bit, yeah, they could obtain their goal. It's just a case of they just need to show up, do the work, and yeah, maintain their discipline. So I think that's one of the things you guys have an advantage over, I would say, most other people in the realm of business, because they see it as this, oh, you can, like, they don't actually see the work for what the work is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And there's so many, there's highs and lows in business, but when you're in the lows, I think it's so hard to stay disciplined and stay on course and not want to reach for the shiny object and do all of these, I call them half-built bridges, because that's what leads to an unsuccessful business, when you're trying to do so many different things because you see somebody else doing it. They're really successful with this click funnel, or they're doing this form of marketing over here. Overall, I think if we don't stay on course to what we should be doing and stay disciplined and put in the reps where we've committed to going, then your business is not going to stay on course. You're just like literally going in circles.
Yeah, no, because like this is the thing, and like I'm not one of these people who are a doom or a naysayer or anything like. But like, I think we are heading for a time of economic hardship on the horizon. And I think a number of people, which, okay, let's not lie about it, from like, let's say from 2010 up until sort of more recent times, before like the globe, the whole planet has been on this sort of hot streak of like, yeah, we've been in like the good old times, like the whole sort of realm of recession. What let's not talk about 2008. That was like, yes, that time.
Yeah.
But I think we are heading towards a recession, and I think a number of people who've not experienced that, I think, are about to get a rude awakening and one hell of a bloody nose, to say the least,
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's from, obviously we need to become more knowledgeable about these types of things. And overall, I think being disciplined, but also investing in ourselves, I think is a great way to avoid that as well too. So, if you're in your business and you don't know how to do marketing or how to do accounting, take a course. It's just like, it's so simple. It's like these little things that people fail to do. And they're like, oh no, I need to hire somebody, or, maybe we just don't focus on marketing and all that kind of stuff. And it's just so silly. I think sometimes we look for these big elaborate answers, and it's just like very simple solutions in business.
I hear you. Now, I asked about, earlier in the podcast, where you would like to see Staffnet go over the next few years. But let's put Staffnet to the side for one moment. Where would you like to go in the next few years? Where would you like your journey of life to take you?
I would love to live somewhere warm 24/7. First of all, it's very cold here in the winter, and I'm not for that. But in all truthfulness, I would love to be doing what I'm doing right now. I don't want to be wearing all of the hats in my business, and we're slowly getting to a place where we don't have to wear all of the hats. We have our developer team, where we have a few people on staff here now, but at first it was literally Dwayne and I wearing all of the hats, running everything, which I do believe is so important in any business, so that you can understand how your business runs. But I would love to be a lot more hands off and just kind of being overseeing things and being more of a leadership role and seeing the team grow. So somewhere warm, working remote, popping into the office every once in a while to be able to see our team and stuff like that is really important, I think. But for me, just more of a leadership role. And who knows, maybe we'll start another business in the future. But as it stands right now, Staffnet is my newborn. It's still my newborn. I still love it. It's my baby. I want to stick with it for quite a while.
When you say somewhere warm, stateside or Caribbean?
Definitely Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing. Yeah, more of a leadership role. I was curious, like, which sort of role you would want to adopt more as on a personal level, but yeah, more of a leadership role and like take things forward from there. Yeah, brilliant. With that, like, okay, I have to ask, like, if it was a case of if you weren't doing this right now, where do you think you would have been? Like, what do you think you would still be in the gym doing sales, or what do you think life would have looked like? What would your sliding doors moment be?
Oh gosh. I would hope that I would have gotten to where I am as an entrepreneur, and I think I would have. But I can't say that without doubt. So I think Dwayne definitely had a big role to play in kind of invoking and sparking that in me. But yeah, I feel like I would still be at the gym, really and truly. I really liked my job. It was really cool to see the whole process, the evolution of somebody coming in, purchasing the membership, getting fit, and just enjoying their life more, right? And you talked about discipline before. Somebody comes in, they say, I want to do all of these things. They have these big, audacious goals. And you can usually pick out the ones that were going to follow through and that weren't going to follow through. And I was pretty spot on with a lot of them because we see all of these people every single day, right? All different types of people. So yeah, I think I definitely would still be in the gym world. I have the admin background, so maybe I would be in an office somewhere, which is probably like a literal prison sentence to me because being stuck to a desk would kill me. Being in an office. Have you ever seen the movie Office Space? No? Okay. Well, if you get a chance, watch it. That's how I would feel about it. But yeah, so I honestly, I hope that I would still be an entrepreneur, but I don't know if I would have ended up on this journey. And it's just kind of scary to think of that.
I hear you. Now, my final question, like, what has been something which has brought you gratitude in the last, say, 3 months?
In the last 3 months,
Yeah.
I would say my toddler. He teaches me so much every day in terms of believing in myself. You know, when they start to learn to walk and they just stand back up, like with no fear at all, they just go at it again. That brings me so much gratitude to be able to watch it before my eyes because it's so inspiring. We fall so often in business and then we become jaded and scarred and we don't want to get back up because we're scared of fear of rejection, of what people will think about us. And so I'm so grateful to watch in front of me this little human evolve and just come into the world with just such genuine intent to learn and be open to failure. It's just so beautiful to see. And it just reminds me as a human that it's okay to fail. It's okay to fall. He teaches me to be persistent. They ask 7 million questions a day and you tell them no to touching certain things and they still like go for it. Obviously, that's not ideal, but it just teaches me that persistence, can pay off in certain cases, when he asks 10 times to go outside and maybe on the 11th time he'll ask, I'm like, fine, let's go outside. We'll go for that walk finally. It definitely teaches me to become persistent, believe in myself and my capabilities as well too. So it's an invaluable lesson for that he's taught me.
Beautiful. Gina, can you tell the lovely people how they can find you out on these worldwide webs?
Yes, on the World Wide Web. So we have our website, staffnet.ca, and we have a really fun blog up there, something that I still do personally. Nobody else on the team gets to touch that. So it's just everything from my mind that kind of comes out onto the blog and anything that I think of is of value to share with any entrepreneur, human being that wants to become better, build habits. And then we have the Instagram for Staffnet. So that's at Staffnet. But then if you want to follow me personally, I'm at Jenna Zeng on Instagram. And those are the main places that we hang out, as well as LinkedIn. I shouldn't forget LinkedIn. Staffnet Scheduling is our LinkedIn.
Awesome. Jenna, I got to say thank you for coming on today. You have been a superstar. Yes, we haven't gone into the realms of how you hide your bodies, but that's another story. Like that.
The snow, under the snow.
Okay, yeah. Or PD, I've done my job. Come on. You can get rid of that evidence now. There you go. Yes. On that happy note, I'd like to also say thank you to you, my friends, my life warriors, for sticking with us to the end of the show. Please stay safe, stay well, be awesome, be excellent, be fantastic. Be all the positive bees you can be in this world and then some. Have a great day, guys. Have a good one. Yes. Peace. And we are...